Sorry, I just had my earphones on. You know, when you don't have a lot of other people to talk to in person, sometimes you kind of forget. When you have earphones on, you're talking to yourself. There's other things that need to happen for other people to hear you. I have here 3 pages of what is a proposed or is an outline for a legislative package proposal that I have been in an effort to try to develop for some time. In the last several years, I've come up with at least 6 proposed pieces of legislation, 4 of which were provided in a comprehensive manner, actual written proposed pieces of legislation, some of which a number of other people saw, 2 of which were in comprehensive outlines that had not been fully actually written down and proposed. The first effort was an outline in either January or February 2017. The first time I actually attempted to write a piece of legislation was May of 2017. The most recent effort I made was actually in May of 2020. And the outlines and the actual originals, unfortunately, I don't have them at this moment. As a matter of fact, I don't even have a copy of many of the actual pieces of legislation I personally wrote. Did I propose other legislative possibilities prior to 2017? Yes, I did, going back a long time. But I didn't actually myself try to craft legislation personally until officially 2017. I have here, and I'm letting you know, because I made an announcement this morning. I was going to make an outline by the end of the day today. I'm going to do that. It's a little, that's about 2:45 to 2:50 p.m. right now on October 14, 2020, and I intend to have this written up in its first draft form within 5 days from today, so that means by October 19th of 2020, I intend to have this actually formally written up in the first draft form. See, here's the thing. Anytime I've tried to request somebody's consideration of my proposed pieces of legislation, I have not gotten one other person to acknowledge they read it. But I have gotten confirmation, including in other pieces of proposed legislation by other people, many of whom I didn't even contact directly, some of whom, including in consideration of their co-sponsorship of those other pieces of legislation, I did, have at least been concurrently engaged in efforts to address these legislative matters, which means there's a need for them. But without feedback, of course, and without somebody else contributing an analysis of how accurate they are or how viable or practical they are, well, that leaves me to continue on my own course of understanding I and people like me deserve to have representation, and thus far we're not getting represented. And we have a right to legislative representation, and I contend that in many matters, the laws that we're dealing with, and the way that the legal system, including through the processes by which the legislature supposedly supports it, is inadequate for our needs. The first package here that I will be proposing is regarding digital sex terrorism. The second package I will be addressing will be reconciliation of decommissioning and transmission of gas and oil sector for use by and for renewable energy production and accountability. I know it's a big title. I will have that refined, but those are the 2 pieces of legislation I will be working on in the next 5 days. So you can look forward to a formal proposal by October 19th around 4 p.m. 2022.